Hi there! Carlos here. I skipped out on MCS last week in order to participate in the Remote Duel Extravaganza. So for this week's video, I thought I would bring you a deck profile of the deck that I played at that event. Let's get started with the deck profile, shall we? I played one Rhinoheart, one Siren, one Halfness, and one Merly. These need no introduction. 3 Tearlaments Kashtira, and 1 Kashtira Fenrir. Now, if you were wondering why I only played 2 Rhinoheart, it's because Rhinoheart is not the card that it used to be. Diviner is a much better normal summon, and I play this at 2. The best that you can hope to do with Rhinoheart is dump a Tearlaments Kashtira and go for a mill 2. That is not what you want to be devoting your normal summon to. Diviner, on the other hand, can dump Agito, Kelbeck, Keldo, or Mudora to either mill 5 or ensure we have graveyard shufflers. Dumping one of these fairies also makes Diviner a level 6, a fact that will be very relevant soon enough. Next, I played 3 King of the Swamp. Konami decided to ban my precious kid Kalos, and this is really the only replacement. It pains my heart to have to say that. An interesting package that I play is 1 Denier and 2 Malicious. Malicious is particularly good because it's a level 6, and this facilitates Beatrice plays. Next, I play a Substantial Danger package, 3 Nessie, 1 Jack, 1 Such, and 2 Bigfoot. Spoiler alert, Bigfoot is my only answer to a Rise Heart in the main deck. Nessie is fantastic because it's a dark aqua. You can make Garura with it, and you can make Kaleido Heart with it. Jackalope pairs well with Nessie, and Such is probably the weakest card in the deck, and the first thing that I would either cut or side out. 1 Poly to go with King of the Swamp, and 1 Foolish Burial. Next, 1 Set Rotation and 1 Terraforming to pair with our 1 Primeval Planet Rightsos and 3 Primeval Planet Perlorinos. Rightsos can search Fenrir, which will search Tearlaments Kashtira. And Set Rotation is a particularly strong card this format because so many people are main decking evenly and imperm. Also, if we mill our opponent during our turn, we'll be able to see what they're playing, so we'll be able to decide if it'll be necessary to pop the field spell that we give them. For example, if I give my opponent a Rightsos and I see that they're playing Kashtira based off of my mills, then I can choose to pop it or shuffle it back with Kaleido Heart. And last but not least, the Tearlaments back row. 2 Scream, 1 Meta Noise, 2 Sulic, 1 Crime, and 1 Trivi Karma. Now Scream, Meta Noise, Sulic, and Crime need no introduction. Trivi Karma, on the other hand, is new from Photon Hypernova. This card can be banished from your graveyard to search any spell and trap that mentions Vice's Starfrost. That includes field spells. Perlorino mentions Starfrost. All of these cards actually mention Starfrost. So Trivi Karma is a great search for essentially any of your back row. Next up, we have the extra deck. 1 Mud Dragon, 1 Garura, 1 Stapelia, 1 Guardian Chimera to pair with the Polymerization, 1 Ruokalos, 1 Kaleido Heart, and 1 Grapha. Ruokalos and Grapha can be made with King of the Swamp. As for the rest of the fusions, they're pretty standard. I also play 1 Zeus, 1 Redoer, and 1 Beatrice. Beatrice and Redoer are actually some of the best cards in my extra deck. They allow me to layer interruptions by quick fusing on my opponent's turn or extend, and Beatrice particularly with her ability to foolish any card, whether that be Trivi Karma, a Shuffler, a Miller, a Fuser, anything, is very strong. An end board of Redoer and Beatrice with a set Sulik is deceptively a lot for any deck to play through. These cards also make you resilient to evenly matched because they can be chained to evenly to rebuild your board on the following chain. As for the links, I play 1 Cross Sheep, 1 IP, 1 Sprined, 1 Dark, and 1 Underworld Goddess. Goddess doesn't come up too much, but when she does, you'll be happy that you have her. Dark doesn't come up as much anymore, but still useful. Sprint is always great. IP is probably the card that I made the least in the extra deck. And Cross Sheep is a new fantastic addition to the deck. This is essentially Elf at home. If you special summon a monster to a zone Cross Sheep points to, and it's pointing to a fusion monster, you can reborn a level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard. Most notably, that includes Rhinoheart or Diviner. Now, please excuse the fact that my side deck is not in my nice sleeves. Shoutouts to Nasateo for the Rule Kalos sleeves, by the way. I just haven't gotten around to sleeving it up yet because my side deck is always changing. But for this event specifically, 1 Harpies and 2 Cosmics to deal with back row matchups. 1 Called By because it's great going first. 2 Super Polys for breaking boards. 2 Ash, 2 Droll, and 2 Nibiru for when I feel that hand traps are more important. Ash in particular is great against Branded or Labyrinth. Nibiru is generically good against combo decks, and Droll is especially good for combos that you need to put a stop to, like for example, Dark World hand loops. Gamma Seal is a notable inclusion because not only is it an out to arise or problematic monsters, it's also an aqua. This means you can make Kaleido Heart with it. And the last card I played is a level 2 extender known as Volcanic Scattershot. It's great for making Sprined. Now I want to address some tech cards that I was either considering playing or have just learned about recently. For starters, Evenly Matched. Evenly Matched is a fantastic card. That said, I often found that I was put into situations where Evenly itself wasn't enough, and so I cut it out of the deck in favor of more engine. Heartbeat and Grief are other Tearlaments back row cards you can choose to play. Heartbeat isn't very strong going first, but its graveyard effect is certainly relevant, and Grief has 2 relevant effects as it can be used to both E-Telly a Tearlaments card or recycle a banished Tearlaments trap card. Foolish Burial Goods helps with consistency as it can be used to dump any of the Tearlaments back row. For space reasons, I chose not to play it. Baron de Fleur is a card that I was playing for a while, but I found that I was either win more or lose less. Oftentimes, if I was making Baron, it was because I had already established control of the board and I had enough bodies to make this, or it was when all of my mills whiffed and I was forced to make it with a Diviner and a Siren. That is not a situation that you want to be in. Even if you do make Baron, you'll most likely lose that game anyway. I see a lot of other Tearlaments players playing the Shadal package, represented here by Winda, Shekinaga, and Hell Shadal. The Shadal cards are decent, but they're sort of bricks in the hand. Winda is a very strong card, but it's not what it used to be. It's a floodgate, so it's going to win you games. That's how floodgates work. If your opponent doesn't draw the out, you win. But I would much rather play Tearlaments as a interaction-based deck with layered interactions. While Winda can be a layered interaction by fusing into it on your opponent's turn, I decided that I was better off running cards that facilitated getting my play started, like the Dangers, as opposed to Winda. The next card is Destiny Hero Dangerous. Dangerous is a great fusion because it can be made with a Destiny Hero and a Tearlaments. It's a level 6, it's a discard outlet, and it can dump Mali. So essentially Dangerous makes Beatrice by itself. But I found that because I was playing Nessie, more often than not I was able to make Garura first, and I would much rather make Garura and go into Beatrice that way than make Dangerous. It's still an excellent card though, and if the extra deck space wasn't so tight, I would certainly play it. Next, I wanted to give a shout out to a South American player named Raul Villafuerte, who got top 32 at YCS Lima last weekend. Raul was on this interesting tech. Lubellion the Searing Dragon. Now you know this card very well from Branded, but did you know that it can be made with King of the Swamp and a Tearlament? And did you know that it can shuffle back banished Tearlament monsters? And did you know that it can shuffle back banished Keldos and Mudoras? I think this card has a lot of potential, and I'm going to be testing it over the next few days. Another card that I'm going to be testing is, shoutouts to Jeff for the suggestion, good old DPE. DPE can be made with spent Mallies off of Lubellion. You don't necessarily have to run Fusion Destiny. And DPE can make your end board very resilient to evenly matched. For example, if you end on DPE, Kaleido, and some set Tearlament traps, and you get even lead, you can chain DPE to the evenly, pop itself and Kaleido Heart, keep one of your Tearlament traps on board when the evenly resolves, and on a new chain, you can trigger both DPE and Kaleido Heart to get some recursion and start rebuilding your board off the Kaleido Heart send. It's just one of the ways that you can make your deck more resilient to evenly. And with Bystials being out of the format, I think DPE has a lot of potential. So, that concludes my deck profile. For those of you who are curious, I ended the event at 20th place, so 4 places short of making it to day 2. Very unfortunate, but it is what it is. I got to play the deck that I love. Tearlament. I love playing this deck, and it makes me so happy. So why would I play anything else? Konami can take away my Kit Kalos, take away 7 of my cards, but you can't take away my love of Tearlament. Thank you so much for watching. See you all next time.